I still remember the first time I've ever played DOA. It was when I was a small kid. My brother had the Dreamcast on, and I think we were playing DOA 2, and the first character I ever chose was Hayabusa. Hello everyone, today's going to be a different type of video. As you can read from the title, we're going to be saying farewell and thank you, one of the best and greatest of all time, Mr. Tomonobu Itagaki. I make it no secret that Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden are some of the best video games I've ever played, and it's also one of the best series that meant so much to me as a kid. I remember we played Dead or Alive earlier this year, and I talked about how DOA 4 had such a big impact on me when I was a kid, but it was really because of my older brother who had bought a Dreamcast when he was really young, and he bought all the Dead or Alive games on there since then. Pretty sure he bought DOA 2. Then when the Xbox came out, that was the main reason why he bought an Xbox, was because of Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate and DOA 3. And following that was, I believe, the Extreme Volleyball games. And then one of the main reasons he bought an Xbox 360 was because of DOA 4. And Dead or Alive 4 is a game that just sticks out to me a lot because it's a game that just did so much well for me. You know, it introduced me to one of my other favorite video game franchises, Halo, because that was the game that we found out that there was a guest character, or you can unlock a Spartan in that game. And since then we went back and bought the Halo games. Well, we started with 3 and then we went back and played Halo 1, and then that was also the game following Halo 3. I remember saving up a lot of money. I went to a GameStop that was at this mall that we used to go to. It's closed now, but I remember buying Ninja Gaiden 2. And I remember it being one of the most hardest games I ever played when I was a kid. But I loved Hayabusa, man. Ryu Hayabusa was always my favorite character in all of Dead or Alive. And in gaming in general, I remember playing the original NES Ninja Gaiden on an emulated Penguin thing that my brother got at the mall. And we never knew who made these games, right? Until we get older and we see the development, the interviews, and videos because of the internet. Thanks to the internet, we see who helps makes these. Even back then, G4 used to show a lot of interviews or processes about video games. Back, what was it on? Not Attack of the Show. It was on X-Play. And growing up in the early 2000s, man, it was just a different era, man. Especially when Xbox was at its peak, and one of the best parts of Xbox was the selling points of the games. And the games that stick out to me are Itagaki games, man. Dead or Alive, Ninja Gaiden, and DOA Extreme. Those games were just a big inspiration to me because I really love those games and I really like the characters, and everything about it was so awesome. Tomonobu Itagaki was the director of the new Ninja Gaiden reboot series, well, the 3D era reboot series, and probably one of the best developers ever, man. He was such a great personality and just such a great person, just to I wouldn't say talk shit, but just to be such a heel about it. He made game development more interesting and more of a spectacle, He had a bunch of interviews with him in sunglasses, and he had his long hair. And he has katanas. He's smoking and he's drinking, and he's walking through with his trench coats. And then he's talking about how Dead or Alive is the best fighting game out right now. Ninja Gaiden is super hard, but it teaches you, or it filters out the people who stupid, dumb, easy mode games to the people who can actually endure and play these type of games. And going back to Ninja Gaiden 2, I remember that was a game I played as a kid, and I got stuck on chapter 2 and never picked it back up until years later, back when Xbox first introduced their Game Pass on the series on the Xbox One. I remember I was in college, my first or second year in college, and I had got Xbox Game Pass, and I remember playing Resident Evil 1 Remake, and then they also had Ninja Gaiden Black, and when they took that off, I was really invested in it because it was such a hard game, and it was just it was just a crazy ride of a game, It was the beginning of Ryu Hayabusa, in this new series, and just how fucking crazy difficult the game was too, And then when they took it off, I was hunting like the game down like physically in other stores, and I found it. And ever since I bought it, I remember I couldn't put that game down because I was like, damn, this was a game I missed out when I was a kid. I know about Ryu Hayabusa and I know about Dead or Alive, but could I call myself a true fan if I should never played like the modern Ninja Gaiden games? I remember I like played through that game and it was just so hard, man. And I remember documenting my process, not my gameplay because I wasn't like a YouTuber back then. I was documenting it through my Instagram stories. Then I finally beat it and I was like, man, this is insane, dude. This game was way too fucking hard. But this is what video games is all about. And it inspired me to go play Ninja Gaiden 2, the original one, because that was the one I bought for 360 back in the day. And I was like, man, this is the game that came out after Dead or Alive 4 and after Halo 3. I was like, I really wanted to play it, but I just stopped after the second level because I was like really like I was a really young kid and I didn't feel like playing the rest of it. So what I did, I restarted it on my on the account just to play it from the beginning. And I was like, man, this game is crazy fucking hard. It's like more polished, but the enemies are fucking brutal. They're insane. And then it was the same story with Ninja Gaiden Black. I was like, this game was way too fucking hard, but holy shit, when I beat the game, it was just like amazing. I even said it in my Instagram stories. If you guys want to look at it on my Instagram highlights, I was like, man, dude, this is what video games is about, man. Like, it has to be fun, fast paced, and you just gotta learn like all the game mechanics. But at the same time, it's like if the game is too easy, there's really no point. And then if the game is really hard and you can really show your merit that you beat like one of the hardest games ever, even if it was like just like normal mode, the game was fucking hard. Like it was crazy, man. It was insane. And then since then, I've just been a Ninja Gaiden fan. But you know, Dead or Alive is also a series that just means so much to me. It's a series that I used to play a lot with my older brothers because they were the ones that introduced me to the game. And I know they're like mature games, but like my brother would buy them. We would just take turns playing the fucking games and stuff. Then as I got older, I got to like appreciate it more because of what Itagaki's philosophies were, which was that it needed to be easy to like understand and easy to play. But then you see all the other cool shit he does, like the amount of like stage interactables, the graphics, the fluidity, and then like even like he said, like the fucking beautiful women in the game too. Like it's like all the cool shit just like embodied in these games, man. From Ninja Gaiden to DOA to even DOA Extreme, it's like blood, gore, all this cool shit. Like Ryu Hayabusa being like one of the sickest ninjas ever, Kasumi being like one of the most beautiful fighting game women's ever, and even DOA Extreme with all this fucking gambling and shit, And his last DOA game he worked on before he left Koei Tecmo or Team Ninja was Dead or Alive 4. And since then, it just hasn't been the same, man. Like everyone's has that gripe about 5. It was really good, but near the end, it was more about selling DLC. And then in 6, we all know that 6 wasn't the best. It didn't live up to the DOA name. It was just something just completely like the opposite direction of what DOA made it. It was different than what people wanted. It lost its core audience, but I always held out hope. And this year was just like, crazy for Koei Tecmo because last year they announced Ragebound, and they also announced Ninja Gaiden 4 and Ninja Gaiden 2 Black earlier this year, and that's what made me buy a new TV and like actually go full force on using my Xbox Series X a lot more. And I have Hayabusa in the background of my Xbox Series X, man. Like I remember I screen grabbed it from Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. And he's just like there every time I boot up my Xbox Series. That my wallpaper is just Hayabusa crossing his arms. But going back to talk about that, man, Mr. Tomonobu Itagaki, has passed away recently, and there has been a lot of support and condolences to him, and just a lot of people coming out and saying how much DOA, Ninja Gaiden have inspired them, helped them get through tough times in life, and just was like a legendary franchise and still is a legendary franchise. And it was really upsetting to hear the news because I didn't even like know about it because someone in one of my group chats sent me the news and I was like, damn, that one hit hard to me because I was like, man, I was really looking forward to like Ninja Gaiden 4. Although he probably didn't even like he didn't work on it because he left Team Ninja like way like a long time ago, and he was working on he was working with other game companies. I know he did Devil's Third, which is a game I need to play, and then I think he worked a bit on the new Samurai Jack game. But I was really looking forward to what he was going to be making, man, because I was following like what the new company he founded was going to make, and then the news hit him passing away, and he had some words to leave his fans on his Facebook, and it was just sad to hear that. You know, he lived life with no regrets, but at the same time, the only thing he wished he could still do was finish his final like project before he left us. You know, and that was really sad because I was like, man, whatever game he made next, I was gonna like look forward to it and play it, even though it probably wasn't even gonna be like something close to the Ninja Gaiden franchise because he didn't work for Koei Tecmo anymore. But man, it was just upsetting seeing all this in the past few weeks. No, in the past week, in the past few days of the week that people were talking about Itagaki's passing, and it's sad, man. But what I want to tell you guys um, is that when someone passes away, you know, it's always something sad to like you know experience, and especially if it's like someone close to you, but also if it's someone that like did so much for the world as well. And I just want to just say thank you and farewell to Mr. Tomonobu Itagaki. You know, it was an honor to play all these games, man. I love the Ninja Gaiden franchise. I love DOA. Ryu Hayabusa is one of my all-time favorite fighting game and just video game characters in general. And it took me a while to make this video to like collect my thoughts. But at the same time, man, I just want to say, thank you guys for all supporting, Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive, and those of you who make content or just play the games like regularly, man. It's just amazing. I'm pretty sure that would have meant the world to him. And, it's just sad to hear the news. But at the same time, I still feel like we need to just like celebrate his legacy, celebrate the accomplishments he did, and don't forget his legacy. If you guys have the means, go and play Ninja Gaiden, go and play Dead or Alive. If you have an Xbox Series X, I'm pretty sure most of the series of DOA series is available to play for you all. You guys are available to purchase it, and if you guys really love action games and just like gaming in general, highly recommend Ninja Gaiden Black. You can get that for $10 on Xbox Series X, and you can get Ninja Gaiden 2. The original one, the vanilla one, is really great. I'd still say that's still the definitive version, even though 2 Black is good. Vanilla Ninja Gaiden 2 is like his vision, and it's just like there's like no other game like it. That game means so much to me, and yeah, just want to say thank you for everything. Thank you for creating the Dead or Alive franchise, Dead or Alive Extreme, and Ninja Gaiden. And the next time I boot up the game, I'll always be thinking about Itagaki because it's such a great game. Dead or Alive 4 is like one of my all-time favorite fighting games, and just like the characters in Dead or Alive mean so much to me as well. And I'm really glad I grew up with the games too, especially around the era that they were coming out. But I want to say thank you guys for watching, and just let me know your memories with Ninja Gaiden, Dead or Alive, and just like anything like you remember about Itagaki as him as like a person and a game developer, because I remember some of his interviews. I'll probably play a clip of it near the end, but it was him talking about other action games, dude. He loves shit talking, but it was more of like it was more for like PR though. He didn't really. I don't think he had any malice to any other games. But he talked about how like other action games were like not as cool, and then he tried to make Ninja Gaiden as hard as he can, because what's the point of playing a game where you just slice up enemies and don't fight back? And I think along the lines he says like, You know, if you're gonna slice up enemies that don't fight back, well, you might as well just stay home and cut vegetables, dude. This dude was so fucking. This dude was hilarious when it came to roasting shit, but yeah, he was one of the greats, one of the greatest of all time, and you know, we are reaching at a point where like some of the developers are getting up there and you know getting really old, but at the same time, Itagaki, you know, he was 58 when he passed, and that's still relatively young for a lot of people now. And my condolences to the family, thoughts and prayers, and I just want to say, you know, just thank you for creating these games that mean so much to a lot of people, and to everybody watching this video, share your memories, and let's remember Itagaki as best as we can, and you know, what did the DOA and the Ninja Gaiden series mean to you all, and boot up, if you have the means, boot up some DOA, boot up some Ninja Gaiden in his memory, and you know, and next time I play some Ninja Gaiden and DOA, I'll do an Izuna drop for Itagaki, man, in honor of him. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I know it was a different type of video, but as always, take care of yourself and always be great. Until next time, I await your return, warriors. Goodbye and take care.
Secondly, it has to be fast. The third, it has to look cool. And those are three things that he focused on. Well, I kind of have to rely on my, you know, my gut feeling, you know, on how difficult the game should be. But I have a feeling that it's going to end up being a very difficult game to play. Well, not just this game, but DOA, all the DOA series and the DOA Extreme Beach Volleyball. He personally fine-tuned the balance by the seat of his pants, or you know, by his hands. You know how it feels in his hands. But of course, this will be more difficult than any of other work I've done. Since you're playing the game, you know, you should know, you know, the control, the feel is better than any other action game that are out there. And you know, you should be able to figure out what he's talking about. When I say hard, I mean it's that the way he wants his game to be hard is different from other definitions of hard games. It's not that it's hard game to play, you know, as you can see, it's quite easy to play. It's hard, it's because enemies are so smart. Enemies are out there to kill you, right? And that's what makes it difficult. We have smart, intelligent enemies, you know, working in combination to attack you. You know, other games have lots of enemies, but they're all stupid enemies, you know. They're just standing there so you can cut them up and you feel good. If you're gonna do that, might as well cut vegetables.